Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Yeah? Yeah? No, make some more noise than that. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? This is an A.N.O.C regular. He is part of the Chuckles Inc. family. Ladies and gentlemen, you might have seen him before. This might be your first time. Please give it up for Jake Kenney.
Thank you. All right. How are we doing tonight? Good. Everyone have a good Halloween yesterday? Yeah. Quick question to the ladies out there, or anybody out there. Anyone hook up on Halloween? Anyone have a Halloween hookup? Anybody? No? Are the wounds still too fresh? Well, I've known a couple of people who tell me stories of Halloween hookups. And a guy, a friend, not really, one of the acquaintances, a work friend, a few years ago told me he had hooked up with a girl. And he had hooked up with a girl in costume. And his costume was that of a gorilla. And the girl's costume was that of a cat. And immediately I thought that's the weirdest National Geographic show I've ever seen. That's Animal Planet's Weird Mysteries. But it got me thinking, like, do you think after they hook up that one time, maybe they tried to re-spark the magic, but he's just like, honey, I just can't do it without those cat ears on. And I just wonder if there's a point where you've dwelled too much into the idea of being a furry to not get out of it. It's a deep pool, it's hard to get out of. I also want to thank Keith Evans. His Trayvon Martin costume set the black community back 10 years. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Matt McClendon for opening the crowd fantastically. You can see, but his face was red because it matched his hair. It's a ginger. I don't know if you noticed that. I've recently moved to Chicago. I've been there about 6 months. And I've kind of came to the realization, like, in Indiana, I every now and then was called a hipster. I get to Chicago and they're like, you're just a dude. Like, have you seen what we have? This is absurd. I'm kind of nerdy. One of my loves that a lot of people don't know is I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. Yeah, right? And I get the same thing all the time. Well, you know it's fake, don't you? And I'm like, what? No, you mean The Undertaker really didn't survive getting set on fire. Like, that's a show. Like, he's really okay. You mean his brother Kane is not a demon? Really? Oh, and you mean Chris Benoit really didn't go kill his family, right?
That would happen.
Owen Hart, that thing was staged, right? He's coming back as a character. Everyone's always like, I've met a couple of people who are really into amateur wrestling, which I think is weird. They're like, it's fundamentals. It's really what goes on. It's not staged. It's not rigged. And I'm like, that's like watching the WNBA over the NBA. Like, yeah, it's fundamentals, and like, it's not rigged. But like, if you really want to see someone score 60 points a night, no one dunk, go ahead. I like my wrestling, like my NBA, like with steroids and rigging. Like, traveling is essentially like hitting someone with a steel chair. Like, everyone sees it, but they just kind of ignore it. After that wrestling talk, this segues into my fantastic into my next joke. I don't know how I ever got laid. I recently had a conversation with a girl, cute little blonde. We worked together, having a conversation. She seemed generally interested in me. And like, in normal me fashion, the first 5 minutes I said, like in 5 minutes of conversation I said, I'm not really that into exercising. And I'm like, who the fuck says that? Like, that's like saying, I'm not, and I don't really want to get physically attractive to you. I don't feel like being, stamina's not my thing, kind of an in and out kind of guy. I don't know if it's because I have a girlfriend or what. So I'm a product of the 90s, I guess you could say. I grew up through, I was about 13 during the whole nu metal phase, remember all that? Like the Linkin Parks and the Limp Bizkits and stuff like that. And it's dawned on me that like, I'm really pumped because like all those acts are soon gonna be in that like REO Speedwagon era where they're like the nostalgic awesomeness. Like, you realize, like, Limp Bizkit's gonna be at the Porter County Fair in, like, 4 years. And that's gonna be a thing! That's not even a joke. Like, I'm really concerned about this. Like, they're gonna be there, and there's gonna be, like, a bunch of people my age, like, remember when we fucking bought those albums? Like, that was a thing. I love the NBA, by the way. I'm very excited it's back. I've also started to feel old with the NBA because I'm 25 and 70% of the league is younger than me. I got a roommate who just now got into the NBA, which is fucking weird. Like, he wasn't there for the Bulls, but he's there, like, now. And, I kind of feel like he's only a year younger than me, but I feel like an old man when he's like, I'll bring up YouTube videos like, oh, see Hakeem Olajuwon? He played the game for real. That was hard. Like fucking Horace Grant, like that guy was like the rebound king. And I realized it's really upsetting that my generation, like the generation before us was like, when I was 15, I walked through 15 miles of snow to get to work 4 cents an hour to bust my fingers. And I'm like, Horace Grant was the hardest rebounder ever. That's my generation. We don't have anything to put bank off. Like we can be like, there was a day when we had CDs. Oh, where did that come from? My generation fucking sucks. It's hit me more and more these days. I was really big into like DMX. Anyone know DMX? Yeah, fucking DMX, right? You know, he's still on Twitter. And you know how he tweets? Exactly like he talks in all capital letters. It's like, hey, I have a show coming up in, or no, he'll be simple, very simple text on him will be like, I have a show in Orlando, unfortunately it's getting canceled. And you know, like, you have to read it just like how he talks. I got a show, it's coming up in Orlando. Like, you know it's just like that. Like DMX started all his albums like this, with a prayer. In the name of Jesus. Real solid, real like fucking just epic. And then the next song started off with the lyrics, I got blood on my hands and no remorse. I got blood on my dick because I fucked a corpse. And you can't do that! That doesn't go, you just said a prayer and now you're talking about having sex with corpses. You know what the best is though? Mystical. You remember Mystical? Right? Yeah. Here was Shake Your Ass was the main song. The song started off with I came here with my dick in my hand to make me leave with my foot in your ass, be cool. And like, who starts a song like that? Like, you're essentially saying like, I've walked into this club, my penis firmly gripped into my hand, and I came here. And don't make me put my foot in your ass. Be cool. Mystical. This is kind of my, this is really like intimate. I'm glad this is a good turnout because it's kind of my comeback to comedy. I took a break. I broke my collarbone in July. I broke it doing the most manly thing, riding my bright yellow bike. Fell, broke it, very uncoordinated like. But I work at a restaurant in downtown Chicago and like I came down there and everyone knows I'm a comedian. They're like, oh, I bet you got some really good material from that. Now, for those of you who aren't comedians, let me break something down. We don't get just good material off the horrible fucking things that happen in our life. Like, there's not a situation where I'm like, oh, my collarbone hurts so bad. And I'm like, my collarbone's like my dick. It's strong, it looks powerful, but if you put a little pressure on it, it's fucking done. It's not like I get the worst possible thing ever happened to me, like I'm in a vehicle driving in some country road with my whole family in the car, and it veers off the road, rolls down the hill, lights on fire, but not everybody dies. My legs are broken, my family's burning to death, wolves have came in and just started eating them, and I'm just like, oh, Mom and Dad, oh, this is some real fucking good material. Let me work on this real quick. Oh, this car crash is like my dick. Thanks a lot. My name is Jake Kenney.
Everybody give it up again for Jake Kenney.